Hi, my name is Roberto Dalla Vecchia and welcome to another flat picking guitar lesson. Today I want to show you a bunch of chords, a bunch of fingerings that I like to use when I'm playing swing guitar or jazz guitar, or when I'm playing flat picking using a jazz flavor. And I have a way of organizing all these different fingerings that I think is very simple, easy to understand and easy to remember. So let's get started. Today we will talk about fingerings using only 4 strings. The last string, the 4th string, the 3rd and the 2nd string. And the 5th string and the 1st strings are muted all the time. For example, we will be playing this fingering and the 5th string is muted but by index, and the 1st string is muted by my palm here. Okay, and the system I use to organize all of the different shapes I know, it's very simple, and it goes like this. I know very well the relationship between the root and each single string. So I know that when the root is on the last string, if I press the 2nd string at the same fret, okay, 3rd fret, in this case this is a G root, G chord, that it's always the 5th of the chord. And I know that if I press the 3rd string at the same fret as the root, in this case the 3rd fret, that's my flat 3rd. So that's the flat 3rd of the chord. And if I press the 4th string at the 3rd fret, same fret as the root, that note will be my flat 7th. Okay, so this is something you have to keep in mind all the time and you have to memorize. So again, root is on the last string. On the 4th string we have the flat 7th. On the 3rd we have the flat 3rd. And on the 2nd string we have the 5th of the chord. In this case is D. Now that's always true. If I move my root here, okay, it doesn't really matter. That's a C note, that's my 8th fret. That will be the 5th of the chord. Okay, that will be the flat 3rd and that is the flat 7th. Now if I put everything together like this, I have a G chord and I have a minor, G minor 7th chord. I'm using just my ring finger to bar those 3 strings and then middle finger for the root. Okay, so that's a G minor 7th. It's a G minor because I have the flat 3rd, and it's a 7th chord because I have the flat 7th on the 4th string. And now, of course, that's a movable shape, so that's an A minor, this is an A sharp, alright, that's a B, C minor 7th, and so on. Okay, now that's the starting point. Now, let's have some fun. Let's move some of the notes and see what we will have. Let's say that I want to move this note, okay, the position of that note from the 3rd fret. I want to go 1 fret higher, okay. I don't want to move the other 2 notes. I only move 1 note, the one on the 3rd string, 1 fret higher. Now if I do that, I have to rearrange my fingers to play those 4 notes. And if I do that, I have a G7th chord. Okay, this is the root, this is the flat 7th, right? This is the pinky, and I'm playing the major 3rd instead of the flat 3rd. And here I have the 5th. So 5th, 3rd, 7th, root. So that's a G7, and again I can move that around. So now I can play a G minor 7th or a G7. All right, let's move this note down one fret. So here is same fret as the root, is the flat 3rd, right? If I move it down, that becomes a 2nd. And in this case, I have a G9 or G sus2, or there are different names for it. But anyway, we have the flat 7th here and the 2nd here, and the two notes are together, so it's usually this is called G9. So far I have 3 fingerings. Starting point is this G minor 7th, right? And on the 3rd string, 1 fret higher, major triad, and 1 fret down, a 9 chord, a G9th chord. Okay, now let's move to another string. Let's use the 4th string. I know that on the 4th string, this is my home bass, right? And on the 3rd fret, I have same fret as the root, I have the flat 7th. Now if I move that note 1 fret higher, that flat 7th becomes a major 7th. And if I don't move the other notes, I have, well, it depends. I have, if I don't move the 5th and the flat 3rd, I have, that's weird, but that's a minor, G minor, major 7th chord. Okay, stay with me. If I move that note 1 fret higher, I have, okay, flat 7, 7, 8. So that's just the root again. So this is a minor chord. Maybe I can play the root with my thumb. You see, I have to rearrange the fingering all the time. And but that's not really a problem. So maybe I can go like minor major 7th. And what's that? That's a minor 7th. And I'm moving that note 1 fret down, right? Again, this is the major 7th with the minor triad. This is minor 7th. And if I go here, well, that's the 6th minor. So this is a G minor 6. So this is cool, right? Or let's see, G minor 6, that's a very nice chord to use when you are in the key of D. And you have the G is the 4 chord, right? And let's say that after that G you have a G minor, something like this. Let's say you have and now you can spice up the G minor with the 6, and it goes like, or you go directly to G minor 6. Something like that. Okay, and now let's do exactly the same. So we move the notes on the 4th string, but in this case I want to have a major triad. So I need to raise my 3rd upper fret. So this is the flat 3rd, this is the major 3rd, this is my root. So now if I play that note, well, that's just a major chord, G major. If I move that note down, and I can go like this, this is a G major 7th. If I move that note down 1 fret, this is a G 7th. And if I move this down 1 more fret, this is 6. And this is a G6. Something like that. And again, all those chords are movable, right? Doesn't really matter where I start. This is a C, okay, this is a C major 7th. This is an A, that's a major 7th. So that's okay, that's enough. I think we can move now to the 2nd string. Okay, so we did the 3rd string, that's where the 3rd is, flat 3rd, major 3rd, 9 or 2nd. And here we have 8, 7, flat 7, 6. And now on the 2nd string we have the 5th note of the chord. In this case this is a D note because that's a G chord. Okay, now if we move that note down, here we have a flat 5 chord. And usually you have a flat 5 chord with a minor triad. And in this case we have flat 5, minor 3rd, flat 7th. So we have a minor 7th flat 5 chord, a G semi-diminished or half diminished. You see I rearrange my fingering one more time: index, ring, pinky, middle. And usually this is a useful chord. It's let me give you an example. This is a 2 chord. See, so it's a G minor, half diminished, or a G half diminished, C7, and F. We are in the key of F in this case, and this is the 2 chord. So that's another cool fingering. If we move that note 1 fret down, so this is 5, flat 5, this is 4. This is a nice cool voicing. G minor, minor, right? 7th, G minor 7th. And with the 4 here. So we have the 3rd, we have the 4, so we need to call this 11th, G minor 11th. This is a cool fingering. Something like that. And if we move the 5 up here, that's a sharp 5. And usually the sharp 5 goes with the major 3rd, with a major chord. So I would, major is here, right? Minor, major, flat 7th. Let's put it all together. Maybe I can use my thumb, or maybe I can go like this. This is a nice chord for example, if we want to go to a C chord. So this is the 5 chord, G7, with a augmented 5. Okay, and let me finish up with one more example. On the 2nd string again, after the sharp 5 we have the 6. Okay, so you see, this is my 6, this is the major 3rd, this is the flat 7th, root, okay, the correct name. In this case, we have the flat 7th and the 6th, and the 6th is higher, an octave higher than the flat 7th, so we have to call this G13. And again, this is a dominant chord, a dominant shape. Like G is the dominant chord in the key of C, right? Alright, so that's a lot of fingerings, I know, but if you use my method and you remember that's on the 2nd string, that's the 5th string, on the 3rd string, it's the flat 3rd, on the 4th string, that's the flat 7th. If you remember that, then remembering all those chords and remembering all those shapes is just very, very easy. And let me know what you think about this in the comments below this video. And thank you for watching, and ciao ciao.